Hello, my name is Kelly Faye, and today I will be discussing enhancing communication in elite performers. A little bit about myself. I hold a bachelor's and a master's degree in kinesiology with an emphasis in teaching and coaching, and I'm currently pursuing a master's degree through National in performance and sports psychology. I've coached basketball at the high school and collegiate level, and I've played college ball as well as professionally in London. So communication. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. So I think we can all kind of relate to this quote here. I know I have definitely been in situations where I felt I've conveyed what I wanted from someone in concise detail, and they turn around and do the opposite, or just kind of fall short of what I had hoped they would do. And this just kind of shows you how important it is to be present on both ends. So communication is a two-way street. You don't want things to get lost in translation, and that's why there needs to be an effort on both parties. So can you be great if you aren't an effective communicator? And I follow this question up with, can you be anything if you aren't an effective communicator? Communication is such a big part of our lives. We need to perfect it in so many different aspects of our lives, whether it be in performance in sports, or perhaps it's in the workforce, or even within our relationships. Communication is key. And in this little clip below, you see a girl there in the first one, and she's saying, or it says, do not use 50 words to say what you could say in 3. And she's just trying to say, I love you. But, she's kind of fluffing that up and adding all of these extra words to the simple message, and it kind of clouds it. It kind of confuses things. And the person on the other end is like, well, does she love me? Does she not love me? What's going on? There's lots of other words when all she really had to say is, I love you. Seems simple enough. So what makes elite communication different from the other levels of communication? Well, the elite performers, or if let's say we're talking about professional athletes, they typically go through multiple teams due to trades, sometimes new coaches. So they're constantly being traded to new teams, and with that comes multiple philosophies, multiple approaches, and of course new teammates, coaching staff, fans. Ego plays a role as well. Pay, contracts, fame. It's a different world at that level. And these are all things that can really sort of trump communication and serve as a block. You come into a new team and you don't know anything about that person. You don't know anything about how that coach communicates. So learning about these things early on is so imperative in being able to effectively communicate within each team at the elite level. So just going over a couple of nonverbal cues, and this may seem self-explanatory or elementary, but it's so important just to ensure that you understand. A head nod, for example, can go a long way when a coach is trying to tell a player something. That ensures that the player did indeed hear what he's trying to say as he's screaming over thousands of fans and other players and the basketball and the ref, that the player did in fact hear him. Smiles and frowns, eye contact. So eye contact is huge, and anything that you really do with your eyes is a big indicator of whether or not you understand. So if they're rolling their eyes or looking down or just not looking at you at all and seem uninterested, you kind of know that you're not getting through to them. posture, laughter, high fives, and thumbs up. So verbal cues, obviously this is a little more straightforward. Yes and no. You can tell them, player can tell the coach, got it, coach. Player can also say, I don't understand, paraphrasing. So this is a very effective one. If a coach tells a player something, the player may say, okay, so you want me to da-da-da-da-da. Really being able to say what the coach said, and maybe the coach says, yes, that's exactly what I want you to do, or no, you got something wrong. This is what I want you to do. So paraphrasing is a really good way to wean out any miscommunication. And my personal favorite, okie dokie. So communication between coaches and players. So these are kind of things a coach should ask themselves when communicating with a player. Do I have the athlete's attention? And this goes back to the cues we spoke of. Are they nodding? Are they making eye contact? Are they looking uninterested? Are they looking down? These are all things that the coach can quickly fix if he notices that, no, they aren't paying attention. I need to correct this. Am I explaining myself clearly? So is the coach really giving clear and concise directions, or is he kind of vague? Has the athlete understood? Again, back to those nods. Has he said, yes, I understand? Has he paraphrased? Has he nodded? Do they buy or believe in what you're telling them? So, at the elite level, going from team to team, which is often the case, you kind of have to buy into and believe into various different approaches. So with that, it comes, they really have to understand, you really have to know that they are there, they're present, and they are believing in your approach and your way to success. And do they accept what I've said? So you've told them, has it processed, and are they ready to go and do what you've asked of them? So here is my friend Jennifer, who really did not like that I put this picture up of her, but I think she looks great. Jenny and I played in high school together, and she went on to play D1 basketball. She got a full ride at a really good Division I school, and in high school she was a great scorer. She led multiple three-point records in high school, and had a very promising college career ahead of her. However, her freshman year there was a drinking incident with her and 3 other of the freshmen on her team. All of the other freshmen ended up quitting for various reasons, but Jenny stuck around, and immediately following her freshman year and the incident, she sat down with the coach, who told her that everything is fine. She respects that Jenny stuck around. She has great plans for Jen, and she's excited for the future. So ever since that moment, there were inconsistencies in Jenny's playing time every year, every game. She just didn't know what to expect. And it came with no explanation. And it wasn't that Jenny didn't try. They would have their weekly meetings, and Jenny would ask, what is it that I can do to enhance my playing time? What is it that I've done in the past that is kind of keeping me from playing? And the coach never fully gave her a reason. She just kind of had an even keel attitude that you're doing everything you need to do, just keep it up. But really, it seems that the coach ended up holding this grudge on Jen, and she never fully got over it. And Jen ultimately paid the price. Jenny had great offers out of high school, and some that she could have even pursued following her freshman year. But she stuck with this program because of what the coach said, and it jeopardized her college career. So when things go wrong, so again, like I mentioned in the case with Jen, It can happen both on and off the court. Communication is just as important on the court as it is off the court. And here are just, obviously you see this coach who does not look too happy, and the players walking away from him. He looks very unemotional. His eyes are looking up, and he doesn't get what he's saying. So obviously there's a lot wrong with this picture. Some things that could cause a scene like this to occur is a different perception. Both the coach and the player could have a different perception on life in general, could have a different perception on a game-like situation that's going on. Jumps to conclusions. So a player may feel like they know what a coach is asking them, and they nod a little too soon, thinking that, yes, that's exactly what he's going to ask for, and it turns out that they jumped the gun and the coach wanted something different. Lacks the knowledge. So if a coach calls out a play and the player doesn't particularly know that play, there's going to be a dip in communication there. Lack of motivation to listen. So we've spoke of motivation in the past. If a player is just not motivated, they just may tune out the coach and just move on. Coach having difficulty expressing. And this kind of can play into the next one where emotions interfere. If a coach is really emotionally invested in a play or a situation and he's screaming at the top of his lungs, the translation can be lost there, and a personality clash. So to end this, I'm going to go over the path to effective communication. So a coach must be clear and concise. So telling a player exactly what you want and need from them. If a coach says, all right, you're going to go on the wing and you're going to get open, a player may be a little confused. But if a coach says you're going to start on the left side block, you're going to wait for the 5 to come screen for you, you're going to come off of that screen and you're going to catch the ball. That right there, there's no way to misinterpret that. They know exactly what they're doing. Correct. So make sure that the information, and this especially goes for newer, inexperienced coaches, that it's correct, that you're giving the proper information, whether it be about an opponent or a play that you're calling. That is exactly what you meant to call. Complete. So this kind of goes back to the clear and concise. You really want to fully explain what you want. So once that player catches that ball on that wing, you're going to square up. You're going to find the 4 cutting across the key. You're going to pass the 4. The 4 is going to score. As soon as they inbound the ball, you're going to foul them. So that is complete, and that's going to take us to the next spot. Courteous. So in the picture prior, you saw the coach screaming at the player. So there's a way to talk to players where they can really interpret it in a positive way, and that's usually by being courteous. And constructive, the final one, just really being able to explain to them what they've done right and what they've done wrong, so in the future they can correct that. That is all for my presentation today. Thank you all for listening, and if you have any questions, you can email me at kLly_faye@yahoo.com. Thank you.